Okay, welcome everyone to the Hustler Show. Uh, Me and Sagar are trying this new podcast series effectively to work on one particular idea about creating stories uh, and selling them for businesses to get them more clients. And the objective of this particular show is how you will find your first client. So that is the whole objective of the show. And in today is an introduction video, episode one, and we will explain you what is the business idea. We'll explain you who is it for, and we will show you a framework that we will go through to the entire show. This show will be approximately 10 to 15 videos, depending upon how this is. This is more of a documentation of our journey. As such, me and Sagar will be there, and we have a volunteer who will be doing this activity on ground. So before we go ahead, let me introduce myself. So my name is Vikram, and I am a director at 73-bit, and I've been doing business development for my company for past a couple of years now. And I have a background in masters in information technology. And we have Sagar with me. Sagar is my cousin, and he can introduce himself.
Yeah, hello everyone. Myself Sagar. So professionally, it's been 8 years trying out to be in different field, and right now stick down into sales. As Vikram already said, we are not from sales background, but trying to do something in sales as an account manager in TE connectivity for approx of 3 to 4 years as of now. So yeah, that's all about me. So we'll see how it proceeds and how more things we can absorb from this.
Thank you very much, Sagar, for doing this with me because I thought it would be interesting to have two people and have a conversation and create something which is for people who are not in sales and are doing some work for sales. So let's
Definitely.
jump into today's episode. Let's see what we have here. All right. So as as it is mentioned, it's a Hustler Show episode one. Find your first client by creating stories. So yeah, for those who don't know what is a story, it's basically a collection of images and short videos with that optional overlaying and effect that a user can add over time, and it disappears in 24 hours. So it's basically something that always is on the top of any of your social media, and it goes off after 24 hours. That's what story is, and the business is around that. So that's explaining the concept. These are the five social medias: Instagram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and what are the names of these stories are called in them. Uh, and who is this video for? So, our intention is to create this video who is new to the field of content marketing as such. So, it could be a college student who wants a side income, or a graduate who is looking for some side income, or a intern who is looking for some side gigs. It can also be used by an employee of a company for their own businesses, or from others for some other business as a side hustle, and anyone who has a creative mind. So there is no age bar as such, but we just have like focused it from a youth point of view, because then all our future episodes will be based on the question and answer, the youth who is the volunteer in this particular case, who will participate in this exercise. So what is the product here? So the product here is 31 stories, so one per day for a month. And it is not any kind of stories. It's purely a quote from an industry or a profession which is famous. The format of the stories will be same, which will be an image, and the quote has to be famous or viral, so that there is a probability of getting more attention or interest to that particular quote. And the quote should be linking to a particular business or profession that the business is in. So let me explain a bit more about. So this is a product, like who is, so you are the youth, you have a product, and who is this product for? So this can particularly can be any businesses which are either locally in your area, and it has some form of consulting or some kind of a professionalism in that business, where it where they deal with customers or clients, and they give some kind of consulting or some kind of small businesses, that pretty much is the target. And those are the kind of businesses that may entertain you, so that you can you will be reach out to them. So you are the youth for whom you are we are creating this show, and there will be businesses for which you will give them 31 stories, and that 31 stories they will pay for that 31 stories. How much they will pay and everything we will explain in the following episodes. For now, just understand there is a transaction, and they will get 31 stories and you will get paid for it, and you will do it month on month, so you will have a monthly minimum income kind of a structure here. Just for some more terminology, those businesses will always have clients or customers. So that whenever the terminology comes, when it is respect to you, your client is the business, and they will have their customer. And the reason this is important for you to understand is your story has to incline to their customer or something that their customer will like. And the reason for that is you are thinking on behalf of the businesses and creating some value for the customers that they have. Okay, so that's pretty much a bit of a chain that is how it will work. Now, there are some terminology already in the market used for it. So the businesses that you are going to reach out for, that's the objective of this show, it's getting your first client. uh, you between you and that business, the business type is called as B2B. B2B is called business to business. And for them, if they are some kind of, let's say for an example, if they are a financial planner or they are a wealth manager, for them there will be an end customer who will pay them for all the services. That it can be a chartered accountant or some kind of that kind of a thing. They will have end customers. So that is between B2C kind of a uh, thing that is used as a terminology. But for you, the client is the business for whom you are creating uh, the stories, keeping the customers in mind, if that's the best way to. So your client, so now you have established who your client is, the business. There are many types of businesses, and again we will go into the detail in the framework on finding all those answers for that. uh, but for now, uh, we think that you should only reach for the business whose profit is at least 1 lakh per month. uh, yeah, profits is at least 1 lakh per month, there is no typo there. So basically in an annually they will earn at least 12 lakh. Now you may think that's too much of profit from your standpoint, or you think like, how will you find out those people and all those answers will be, all those questions will be answered in the future video. But this is important benchmark, because if they don't earn that much, they will never pay you the amount that you will charge for the 31 stories. And then you will end up uh, selling them on a discount, and that's not a profitable business in for this particular idea. So they will be your client. So that is one of the benchmark, keeping in mind the different types of businesses that could be your client. That's a different story that we will answer them in future. Okay, and one important thing that I want to make it clarify here, like, this is not a hobby. So there is a lot of work going to be involved, and because it is in business, then there will be a lot of sweat equity, as they say, will go into this. And it is not about asking or giving advice, it's not a charity work. So I mean, you should not uh, do it for free. unless and until you are getting something worth of money. So uh, s- I mean, it has to be a transactional thing, because otherwise the value of your work, you can't put a particular financial value to it. So it's kind of becomes difficult for you to run the business. So yeah, the big question: how to find your first client? And this whole show is dedicated for you to take step by step uh, to get your first client. And this is one of the approaches. There are many other approaches, but if you want to pick this approach, or the way that we will share the framework right now with you, this show is intended to get any of the people for whom the video is created to get their first client. And we have a volunteer on which we will try, and we'll also share some stats according to our methodology. Was it working, how much it is working, and so on and so forth. So here is the framework for you, the first client framework. So it has 5 parts to it: the what, who, where, how, and when. So it's basically a 5 part framework. uh, just created this diagram to uh, stick in your brain, like how it might look like. But the actual thing is, uh, each question alphabetically, like those are the different question type that we accidentally found. But basically, what ticks you is the first thing that I think you should clear it out. So first we will work, first couple of episodes we will work on what ticks you. What do you mean by what ticks you? Is what do you like to do, like what is your area of interest? We are not talking about passion here. We are purely talking about transactional businesses here, where you give a service and you get a money for it. So don't have to be passionate about it, but it ticks you, it triggers or motivates you to do it, or you like doing it. At least you don't feel it boring, you find the subject interesting. So first, in first framework part, we will understand what takes you, and I will share a couple of methods that by which you can find out. And the second question, who is your client? So the businesses part that we showed in the diagram in couple of slides back. So who is your client is you need to figure out, and we will show you a couple of methods for doing that. So one of the things that who is your client is that they are definitely making more than 1 lakh profit in a month. They are one part of your client, but exactly what they do and where, so that question we will answer in who is your client and where is your client. So you identify who is your client, then the third step is where is your client. So you will figure out where your client is. And fourth question, or the fourth part of this framework, is how will you pitch to your client. So we have a very simple, I think this is the most simplest thing to do. How will you pitch your client? I think the shortest step in the whole framework. And when will you get your first client? So that's the answer. Like, okay, where you found, I mean, the whole show is about getting your first client, but when is the question that we will answer in this fifth. And this would be the most time consuming uh, activity in the whole process. And if you see, there is a reason the diagram has been drawn in a circle, because it's a framework. When you complete the whole process from what, who, where, how, when, you will find something which will work in a loop. Like you will find more information, and then maybe you will refine what ticks you better, or you will refine who your client is. Maybe you will skip the ticking part, maybe you will get it in the first cycle. But in the first cycle might be you will correct who is your client part of it, based on how you are getting when you get your, I mean, when you finish your fifth step here. So it's a cyclic thing. So it is not like uh, it is a step by step approach, but it is not like as you complete your 5 step you get your client. It's not how it works. You work again when you don't get it, and when to switch and all is what we will be explaining it. not only explaining it, our volunteer will practically do it and face the challenge, because end of the day somebody has to pay for those images. So and so so if we are able to do that, that's pretty much a success for this whole experiment. And if we are not able to do that, then at least we will have data points on where this framework has gaps, and if we can able to refill it, or if we think that we can take it forward beyond 12th episode or something, if we find any insight, we will do that. But that's pretty much the framework the next episodes will be about. Each episode, like each episode, in one episode we will explain you the frameworks part. So the first part here we will explain, and then the following episode we will share the output of the activity our volunteer has done. So thus that will be the way it will be structured. And yes, thank you. I will just stop sharing, and that's it. So Sagar, is everything clear? This our
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I found one thing really good in this about this 1 lakh cap. I guess this we not discussed in any of our previous videos. This is
right,
the first time I'm hearing, and feel that it's pretty very much important, so that if our clients have potential to value our effort or value our post, because most of the
right,
small businesses or any startup, he will definitely think that I can do it myself, why I need to pay you. So this cap of 1 lakh will segregate huge set of clients and
right,
try and shoot to the right portion of the client. So that really is a good thing. So definitely we'll add or get more and more tools for
right.
the same thing to do better.
Yeah, I mean it's a very valid point, and being in the business for last 6 years, I've learned that piece. Like for any skilled person to delegate a work, not only as a business leader but as a leader itself, is a very tough thing to do. So you have to first find the right client. Is like half your work is done. Once you find the right client, it's normally not the you. I mean, you already know this, and we have discussed this in the past. You never sell a product, people buy product. That we have learned in a hard way. So if you have find the right people, then, and if you just have to share your idea, and the whole thing is they have to see the potential and they will buy it from you, and you never have to sell it again ever to them. Excuse me.
Yes,
So
of
yeah,
course.
rightly mentioned there. So
Mhm.
that is what we will be doing. So I'm excited to see how this whole
Yeah,
experiment goes.
definitely. I mean, when you started up the whole journey of this, and however, we are trying to take a small steps now. Like whenever you started, it was very big thing. Even if it was a small idea, it's a big thing. Right now, it's segregated to very small steps, which is pretty clear. You know what happened when initially, for my own experience, when I saw your first video, it was simple. It was like can do all the scenes, like I can also do, but there are huge difficulties even if you want to post certain small bits for our own group. You tend to have a huge amount of challenges
Yeah,
wherein the rejections, or wherein there is no feedback. I guess
yeah.
I came back to you also in the many times. So
Uh,
those kind of these kind of small steps definitely will get easy steps to tackle
right.
these kind of problems. So,
Right. I think there are imposter syndromes kicking in, and there are other rejections, fatigue getting into place, and all those terminology that we keep learning. But yeah, I think overall, I think once we just change this from a business to an experiment, the whole objective now is more like a play now. It's not like we are not. I mean, if we the whole objective is to get the business or the first client, but our way will be more on a learning bit or an experiment bit rather than only focusing on the goal. The goal is there, but we will focus on the process, as we already know, like the daily process of our sales call or sales
yeah,
emails and all those things. We know how it works, but we will not put all those heavy lifting now. Though,
yes,
as you rightly mentioned, we'll focus on smaller step
yes.
and simpler step, and so that anybody, hopefully anybody who understands this space and is interested, should be able to do.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I guess we are in a right way. So I guess from the next episode we shall be speaking about the first step
Yes.
in how need to what takes you.
Yeah, what takes you will be the first episode, second episode, or the first part of the framework. We'll work on it. We'll work on some methodologies. Also, we will have some question answer from the volunteer that who will be participating.
Hmm.
So thank you everyone for watching. Really, we are glad that you liked it. If you find this interesting, share this YouTube link to more people. If someone wants to volunteer on their own, they can watch, follow the step, put questions in the comments, and we will try to answer as much as we can.
Thank you, people. Thank you a lot for
Bye
this.
bye.
Bye.